Well, speaking of Q-tips and other things that have to do with paper, let's transition over to Richard's pick.
That was
His
so
album
clean.
choice.
That actually really was.
And what would that be, Richard, as I hand it off to you?
Well, man, after David clearly knows so much on his album, and I'm sitting here just like Gym Class Heroes, Papercut Chronicles, making sure it's number one, not number two.
Yeah, not number two.
There is a huge difference.
Mm-hmm.
Huge. And it is mostly nostalgia, like all day, but if you do listen to it, like every single one of those songs, like for me, picking a favorite album was hard because I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh yeah, I really like this song. I really like this rapper. But then I sit there and I'm like, oh, 3 of these songs are like bangers. The rest are kind of mid. But I'm like, that one, I can turn on that album and I'm happy with every song that comes on. And I like it because it's like, you get a lot of like, oh, here's romance, like teen romance rap. And then you get out of nowhere like Faces in the Hall, where it's like mostly rapping about like you never know what's going on in another person's life. And then like on all sorts of just wild things. Like one of them, I think that's the same one where one of them is like, this is like what, early 2000s.
Yeah.
So it was like
It's 05.
teenage. Oh, 05? Okay. Yeah. So it was like a teenage boy is one of them he's rapping about and how he's like gay and he's trying to become like in with the cool kids. So he throws like a party at his house and stuff since his parents were out of town. And then the kids he was trying to become friends with just beat him to death.
Yeah.
And you're just like, yeah, that was right after a love song.
Yeah, legit.
Like that transition. But then you're listening to it. You're just like, oh, hell yeah. Then you listen to it and you're like, oh.
Oh, hell. Oh, wow. Yeah, dude, I was listening to this last night. I don't know why, but it really made a connection with me, dude. Like, I was listening to this and I was like,
is this you coming out?
Good. What?
I said, is this you
coming
coming out?
One more? No. No. But dude, back onto that song though. As I'm listening to this, I'm like, oh, this is cool. I remember these guys. These are pretty all right. And then I get to Faces in the Hall. And I'm like, whoa, like it really caught me off guard. Cause I'm like, what the heck? And I like click on the lyrics and I'm reading them as the guy's rapping. And I'm like, dude, what? And then they go into the second story about his girlfriend.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, wait, what's happening? And then he connects it like partway, a third of the way through the second verse. And I'm like, dude. And then it shows like her reaction to the death. And like the lesson that is taken away from that song. I was not expecting it at all.
See, I always do get it mixed up because there's another one on a different album that's similar.
Oh, okay.
So I do get them mixed up because they are pretty similar. But is that the one where the girlfriend then dies in the car crash?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the last line of the song.
Yeah.
She drives away and she dies in a car crash.
Yeah, okay.
It's like, whoa.
Yeah, there is another newer one that is kind of a lot of the same aspects and stuff. And so I do get them blurred, but Faces in the Hall just is.
It came out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere.
Everything on it's just, because you're just like, dude, like, all right, this is nice, this kid, like his parents were even like all for the party, like do it, get some friends and stuff. And then it's just like, oh, like,
oh, we're going there?
These girls like drug that girl just so she's not in there to help save him and all this other stuff. And you're like,
this is dark.
And the song right before that one, I'm pretty sure is just a love song.
Yeah, just a love song. But it's funny because like this whole album ebbs and flows. Like if you've listened to it, you go from Paper Cuts to Petrified Life, which Petrified Life is awesome. And then you get out to Makeout Club, which is like just a hilarious song. And then you go down to A Few and then So Long Friend. And then you get to like Pillmatic and you're like, oh, this is getting serious. And you go to the biggest one, which is Cupid's Chokehold. And then Faces in the Hall, and you're like, holy crap, this is like that song cemented to me the whole album where I'm like, this guy, Gym Class Heroes, whoever his name is, I don't even know his whole crew, but cemented to me like this guy is extremely talented, knows exactly what he's doing, and is bringing something new to the rap scene around that time too, of telling stories. A couple other rappers were doing it. Eminem was doing it, stuff like that. Some Christian rappers later, like Lecrae, really dove deep into that as well. But yeah, this is another example of just great writing, great flow.
See, that's one thing I do mostly why I appreciate rap is I like the storytelling you can do over other songs.
Yeah.
Because other songs, yes, you can do a story, but you're kind of limited on how you can do it. But rap, because most rap songs don't have a chorus, don't have this, but it's the same length as a normal song. So you're fitting in a lot more into that. So you could listen to the rap that's just all about, just selling drugs, this and that. Or you can get some that actually have like legit stories.
Yeah.
Some of them get weird, insane. Some of them are just funny stories. Some of them are just life lessons. Then some of them are just kind of sad and depressing with a cool beat and you don't even realize it.
Yeah. Yeah, man, this album's awesome. What do you guys think? Mr. Reed and Mr. Reed.
This album was kind of a major nostalgia trip for me. I haven't even listened to Gym Class Heroes in longer than I can remember. The first time I heard Cupid's Chokehold, for the first time for a long time, I was like, whoa, where has this been?
Yeah, same. I'm like, I remember this song. Huh?
Dude, seriously. It's like, yeah, Gym Class Heroes, most people, especially if you're a little bit like grew up when they were popular, everyone knows them. But then when you think of it, it is like Cupid's Chokehold, a few other very select songs, and then that's it. Just like same with the Beastie Boys, very select songs, and you're sitting there like, there's better. There's a lot better.
Oh yeah, like what? Better than Beastie Boys is what you're saying?
No, like other songs.
Yeah, well, there's a variety in the rap space.
Yeah, well,
And that's
because
what's
like
awesome.
Beastie Boys, same thing as I feel Gym Class Heroes. They're big hits, amazing songs.
Yeah.
But then some of their like how David said that was a bad album selling wise and everything. It has like one huge hit, but then everything he talked about wasn't even the hit.
Yeah.
You know?
Shadrach and all the other ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think, Jickabob? Gym Class
It was good.
Heroes.
It was good. I didn't know Gym Class Heroes too well, but a
Yeah,
few of the
same.
songs I heard, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
that's who this is.
Yeah.
Like,
I
it hit
remember
me.
Richard and David playing that in youth group,
Yeah, it's like a little bit burned into my brain from surrounding music.
Yeah,
so.
Jacob, I remember Richard picking me up from youth group and he was had that on the radio. Yeah. But yeah, dude, like, you're right. It brings you back.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it just weirdly reminiscent, and it's not something that I've actively played. Too is the weirdest part. Is like it just kind of hits in this is actually a specific part in time and not like a mood that you pick when you pick music.
It's kind of timeless, is what I would say to describe it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know what? It was funny, Richie. I was looking it up because I'm like, I know Gym Class Heroes. Obviously those stupid "My Heart's a Stereo," like which was his last album, which makes me really sad. And I'm like, damn it, Adam Devine, you gosh dang filthy mainstream artist, you just destroyed him. Like, but anyway, I don't know. I need to look at the history of where he went after that.
Well, you were even saying like timeless, like that is one thing I really do like about it because it's weird because using Beastie Boys just because of age gap. Think of the things they're rapping about. Then when Gym Class Heroes come out, the difference. But then think of nowadays, if you actually did like the same style, like rapping about, because most Gym Class Heroes is like kind of high school related.
Yeah.
And stuff. But then like look at all the stuff they're rapping about. It's still stuff that's happening like going on. And you're like, okay, that was 20 years ago. Then that album came out and there's like no difference. That's kind of wild to think of. Like most of the differences is just how technology's even more and now this stuff's even worse than it was back then.
Yeah, because when this came out in 2005, I was listening to the Pillmatic song last night and I'm like, oh dang, I was not expecting this. And then I was thinking about 2005 and the opioid crisis and all that stuff. And now what we have today, same thing, but even worse now. Like it's crazy. Like,
Dude, fentanyl. Get that Betty, boys.
Yeah. Oh, God. And also it's weird. For some reason, Spotify didn't have the lyrics for this one song, Pillmatic.
Really?
I was like, that's messed up. Like, come on, Spotify, do better. So,
You
but
heard
anyway,
them. You heard him.
there
Do
was that
better.
one. And of course, I want to talk about Makeout Club. This
Are
song.
you trying to ask us to make out right now?
Should we shut this door?
Who
I
says
like it
there's a
open.
door.
They can watch.
Oh my god! But dude, the whole song is talking about him, like with different chicks, and it's like as I'm going through it, I was like passively starting to listen to this album, and this is what locked me in, as the kids say nowadays. And I was listening to it, and I'm just losing it at my computer. I'm like crying, laughing because it's like so
talking
fun.
about the girls'
Talking about
bad
all the
breath
girls
and
the bad breath, and this girl named Monica, she gave me gifts at Hanukkah. And
yeah. But why are you bringing back Jewish stuff
my
again?
God, I don't know
my
why
guy.
you keep doing.
My guy.
But like like there was Melanie. To have a mouth like that should be a felony.
Yeah.
And I was like, I had such a fun time listening to this song.
And the thing I like is there's a lot of songs that are like Make Out Club, but they're all usually insanely sexual.
Yeah.
Because you got like,
that's why I thought where I thought this was going.
yeah, because like, isn't it like My Dick by, oh my goodness, Hollywood Undead? And it's just a dude talking about like
talking about his
my dick and all the STDs and all the bitches he fucked and this and that. But this is just like, yeah, no, it's sexual. Yes, but it's like literally just about girls he kissed and kind of how he did them wrong and dirty just so he can make out with this girl instead. And now, that's the new one of the week.
new one. Yeah.
Let's go.
The grass is greener, you know.
Like, it's so funny, but it's also like on most rap related things, that's such a clean song. Like,
dude, so
clean.
So much.
So clean. But then when you're actually listening to it, you're like, God, that guy was a
Yeah,
prick.
this guy
douche.
This guy's a jerk, man. Yeah, I love that. And then, dude, we got to talk about the most popular title on here, which was Cupid's Chokehold. What do we think, Richie?
I mean, again, banger.
Timeless.
Banger. Like,
so good.
I'm not usually like a love song fan, but the way they do it is just so clean, simple. Like, they're not super lovey-dovey and stuff, but it's like kind of true. You sit there and you listen to it and you're just like, damn.
Yeah, you're like, take a look at my. And I'm like, oh man. Like, this was like when this came out, this was like everybody who's in a relationship at that time was like, this is my theme. This is me, my girl's theme, man. Or just like passively, whatever. So take a picture. I got a picture in my wallet.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do y'all think of that main song too, or any other songs that stand out to you on this album?
You can tell Jacob didn't really listen to it.
These reads are having a staring contest. Jacob is.
I listened to
David
it. I
is
listened
like.
to it.
Well, like I was even planning to go this deep with what I wrote about some of the albums here, but I just had a good time listening to them and also stayed up way too late doing it. So it took a lot of time to do it. Like I was up till, and we had an hour. We lost an hour last night. So I was up even later. Like I thought it was funny. I was listening. I'm like, I got all done with your guys's, and then I'm sitting down listening to mine just passively, like as I'm playing like Trials or whatever. And I'm like, oh yeah, this is great. And I put on full screen on the monitor and I saw, it's only like 1:30. It's fine. And then like
instantly blipped. To
yeah,
3.
and all of a sudden, like no joke, a half hour later, I look back like, holy crap, it's 3 a.m. I better get to bed.
So speaking of that, that's what happened last night. I was starting to listen to yours. And then I'm like, okay. And I got like 3 songs in. And then I was like, what happened to the time? So confused. Like lost. I was like, I need to go to bed.
Dude, yeah, I was like partway through it, like just like you. And I'm like, holy crap, it's 3. I gotta go to bed. But dude, yeah, Gym Class Heroes. David, what words do you have for this album?
I was a little groggy when I listened to this, but yeah, it just really hit me. It was a major nostalgia trip. I was not expecting it to be major nostalgia trip. Cupid's Chokehold, great song, and then Papercuts, the title track. That was solid too. I liked that one. It just had this kind of chill vibe to it that I was not expecting.
Let's see. What did I write down last night? It was all a blur, as they say. Faces in the Hall is legit. Oh yeah, we already talked about. Sorry, I was just like trying to go over. What did I write?
That's how hooked he is on it.
But I would say like the mastery of that. Like going back to that track, the mastery of the storytelling, and that's what I love about rap so much is not just the writing or how creative you can be with it, but the stories you can tell and what it fits in. We see a lot of that with specifically NF nowadays. And I feel like NF, my critique with him is that he kind of leans way too far into that to the point where almost a lot of his songs become, at least for me, not very enjoyable or not very good to listen to. He's still super creative and super great. However, sometimes he goes a little overboard with that kind of thing. Like, okay, dude, I've heard your story. I understand. And I resonate with a lot of what you're saying. But at the 7th album, okay, I get it. Like, let's do something else. All right. I don't know. That's just me. But.
Yeah.
I get that.
But yeah, no, that is one thing. It's solid when a rapper is like really diverse, even if they can have a similar style every time. But like, there's something really diverse, because if you listen to a lot of gym class heroes, everyone's like, it's so upbeat, it's this, it's that. But like Papercut's is a great one. That whole song's talking about like basically the woman he's in love with, been in love with his whole life, and a horrible toxic relationship they're in.
Yeah.
And it's all about like the paper cuts are just all the small fights and everything they're having that's just bleeding him out like emotionally.
Yeah, it's building up. Yeah. It was so cool. Shoot, where was I gonna go with that? I can't remember.
know.
Dang it, Richie threw me off. What the heck, man?
He threw off his groove.
Threw off my groove.
Them Ninja Turtles f***ed you up.
Well, speaking of Ninja Turtles, Gym Class Heroes, did the title song for the TMNT, the CG animated one in 2007, just called TMNT. It was, I know you guys don't care about this.
We
but
keep
I
going
want-
full circle with
Yeah,
this.
full
It's
circle,
like,
man.
and now
So,
let's-
like-
Are we talking about rap or Ninja Turtles?
Yeah.
Both, because Gym Class Heroes does the song for that movie.
Please tell me somehow both of your guys' favorite also ties in with Ninja Turtles.
that would be
It does
awesome.
not. It would be cool.
That would have
but-
been amazing if somehow it all did.
And I'm not even a huge Ninja Turtles guy, but it's
No
just
one believes
interesting.
you right now.
Well, shout out to Chelsea, who's probably listening to this podcast, because I remember we watched that movie years later after it came out, because it was released in 2007, like 2 years after Papercuts. And it's called Shell Shock. And I remember listening to him rap. And this was this was the second time I heard Gym Class Heroes, because I heard Hard as a Stereo. But then I heard this and I'm like, dude, this guy's awesome. Like the way he's making this rap, the writing and everything, like it's super cool. And then to get to this album, like, oh, it's that guy. So it all like connects back to each other is what I'm saying. So highly recommend. It's called Shell Shock. You got to listen to it. It's so good. So
Life
good.
is Ninja Turtles.
Ninja Turtles. Did you watch Ninja Turtles growing up, Richie? Or no?
Yeah, I grew up in the 90s, man.
I was gonna say that's
Not every
Kinda.
90s person watches
There's a reason
Ninja
why I have a
Turtles.
pizza addiction, my guy. Like, a sewer rat sounds like a great job.
yeah. You don't ask a millennial if they grew up watching the Ninja Turtles. It's a dumb question.
Everybody's
Dude,
different. I don't know.
No. Talk to any millennial. There's
'Cause
a reason why we're all f***ed up.
Well,
Is it
I
Ninja
didn't-
Turtles? Is that why?
No,
It's all
you just.
Kevin Eastman's fault.
I'm all sitting here like I can go all on a lot of this, but Nickelodeon back in the day had some shit.
Oh yeah, it did.
Oh, real monsters.
Oh yeah, that show was creepy.
Dude, are you afraid of the dark?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
messed up. Yeah.
I like how Jacob's face is like, what?
Not particularly, no. I don't have a nightlight or anything.
Not anymore.
Only LED lights all around his roof.
Yeah.
Real quick before we go past Papercuts, the lyrics, I love just these are my favorites. Like, I'm painting portrait. He goes really fast, so I apologize for the way I'm like presenting this, but he says, I'm painting portraits of dysfunctional families with gloomy faces, rocking "Don't Worry, Be Happy" t-shirts, and you're assuming I'm tasteless? And I was like, what the heck?
That's a mouthful.
And then like, there's some other ones in there too, but like, I can't even read this because I don't even remember what song it was for, but there's some really dang good ones in there. Like, especially on I think the Decrepit Bricks especially. So, and that's funny because that's the track that you go into and you're like, okay, this is like, just normal rap or whatever. And then you get to later on and you're like, oh, okay. All right. Like you get to Papercuts and then Petrified Life, but then it gets more and more as you keep going. So, any last words, boys, for Gym Class Heroes, Papercut Chronicles?
I noticed you did the white rappers first.
I'm honoring our
Interesting.
elders, Richie. I did David first, and now you.
The white
yes.
rappers first.
The elders, the elder white people.
The elder white people.
Well, speaking of those that love white people, let's talk about your pick, Jacob, and the person specifically who loves white people who's on that album. You know. So, Jacob,